Is it possible? Yeah. Does he have the talent to do it? Yeah. Was he one of the best fighters of all time? Yeah. So
Personally, like when you think about boxing, like you know who he is, and yeah, like you know like what he brings in his fight. So yeah, man. I mean, we're here.
Boxing experts who've reviewed recent footage of Pacquiao's training were taken aback by his condition, despite being 46. His speed and agility rival those of fighters decades younger. Analysts warn that Mario Barrios may be in for a tougher challenge than expected, as Pacquiao's reflexes and hand speed seem largely undiminished. This combination of veteran experience and explosive sharpness could shift the narrative. Pacquiao is no underdog, but a serious threat. Pacquiao being granted an immediate title shot has sparked controversy. Critics like Jeff Mayweather argue that this move undermines the merit-based system that typically governs boxing rankings. They contend that it sidelines active fighters who have worked their way up the ladder. This tension reflects the sport's ongoing struggle to reconcile respect for legendary status with fairness and competitive integrity.
At the same time, with me saying that, I still kind of got Mario Barrios getting the win just because of age, but I would not be surprised if Manny Pacquiao pulls through. I can tell you this, a lot of the internet saying Manny Pacquiao about to shock the world. So I'm just excited all in all. It's a couple things that I do want to talk about in this regard. One of them being, if Barrios wins the fight, then I feel like we got to see Barrios versus Boots. And I got Boots for the victory, for sure. At the same time, if Pacquiao gets the win, do we see Pacquiao versus Boots? I don't really see that going that way, or I don't see that going good for Pacquiao, if I got to be honest. So I'm very curious on how that's going to go. But personally, the boxing fan in me, I want to see Boots get undisputed. You know, that's what I want to see. So in a sense, I kind of want Barrios to win just so we can see the Boots versus Barrios fight. But the topic of this video is Pacquiao and Barrios, so let's get back into that. That's just exciting just to see Pacquiao with all this footage, the clips, I'm seeing him do press, all of that. It's just exciting just in general. Now, with that being said, I think Pacquiao still got that pop on him. He definitely gonna have that speed, or at least close enough speed to what he used to have. I do think it's gonna be an exciting fight, and it's in Vegas.
Boxing insiders remain divided over Pacquiao's comeback. Supporters praise his enduring skill, mental toughness, and warrior spirit, while skeptics question the risks of returning at his age. Some dismiss the bout as more spectacle than serious competition, drawing comparisons to controversial exhibition-style events. The debate underscores the delicate balance between honoring a legend and confronting the realities of aging in a brutal sport. This fight could either elevate Pacquiao's legacy to new heights or expose the harsh limits of longevity. Either way, it will become a defining chapter in his story. Veteran analyst Teddy Atlas has offered an insightful take on Mario Barrios' move through weight classes, pointing out that Barrios is climbing up rather than fighting at his natural weight. This detail challenges the assumption that Barrios holds a size advantage over Pacquiao. Atlas' observation calls for a more nuanced view of the matchup, reminding fans that physical dynamics may not be as one-sided as they appear.
Man, good morning. Why did you always do that? Yeah, I think I went home to the Mexico.
Pacquiao's training videos depict a fighter whose speed, footwork, and rhythm seem almost untouched by age. His hands blur with motion, his footwork is sharp, and his timing remains impeccable. The contrast between his age and performance suggests a rare level of conditioning and enduring fighting instinct. The bout is shaping up as a symbolic clash of eras. Pacquiao, the icon of a golden generation, versus Barrios, a symbol of today's youth and momentum. This compelling narrative adds depth to the fight beyond titles. However, behind the excitement, concerns linger about the toll such battles could take on the Asian warrior.
Sorry, man. Well, Pacquiao's a big name, and obviously Barrios a great fight for Barrios because, he's a champion, and I think Pacquiao, being that they both have connections with PBC, that's the easiest fight to make. So, getting another title opportunity, I just the name, obviously, but I really believe that, Pacquiao shouldn't be fighting. I think it's actually going to be a little, I don't want to say sad because he's going to make a lot of money, so we can't feel sorry for him. But, at 46, almost 47, it's almost impossible for, I'm just 4 years older, 4 years older than him. And, it's not easy to try to think you're going to get in shape and be able to perform like the way you were when you were in your 20s and 30s.
You think it's impossible for him to beat Mario Barrios right now?
Well, it's not impossible because he has power. He should have that power. Barrios is big and a strong boy, so I don't see that happening. But is it possible? Anything's possible. George Foreman did it. There's been others that do it. But I really don't see it happening.
But Pacquiao's speed's the name of his game. Do you think he doesn't have that? There's no way he didn't have the same speed as before.
There's no way, bro. You guys, I don't know if you guys seen his last performance.
The exhibition where against that big guy.
It was actually embarrassing to see that shit. So it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. You know what I mean?
If Pacquiao wins, what does that do for him? Where does that put him all time?
Hell, come on, at that age, after like a few years, I don't know how many years he's been out. That'd be impressive. It's hard to think it's gonna happen, but that shit would be nice, man. It would be nice. Very few have done it, and he's actually one that could do it.
Pacquiao, he's probably top 5 all time, one of the greatest fighters.
Reactions to Pacquiao's recent training footage have been overwhelmingly positive. Fans and commentators alike are amazed by how much his movement and precision resemble his prime form. His ability to defy age-related decline speaks to elite conditioning and sheer dedication. The buzz generated by these displays adds emotional resonance to the fight, blending nostalgia with genuine anticipation.
Because it was like, dude, it was a Pacquiao, and I was like, I knew he was retired, and it just wasn't like a fight that I had ever really
thought about.
Yeah, thought about or pictured unfolding in my head. So yeah, then around March was when I was I got the word that, okay, we're gonna start working on this for real. All the details. I'm like, oh damn, this is really happening. Okay, cool. I'm all right, let's get it.
It's still when you think about it, is it still crazy for you? You're fighting Manny Pacquiao, who you weren't even born yet, and he was already fighting. I think he might have had a world title. I'm not sure, but yeah.
He might have. Yeah, no, dude. He's again, from my earliest memories, anytime I thought about boxing, he was a name that I knew in the sport. And like I said, it doesn't matter what generation you're from. I think just in general, Manny is one of those names, universally. When you think about boxing, you know who he is, and what he brings in his fight. So yeah, man. We're here. I'm defending my title against him. Yeah, it's crazy, but I'm excited.
Boxing Hall of Famer Sugar Ray Leonard has publicly supported Pacquiao's return, applauding the mental strength required to compete at such a high level. Leonard dismisses the notion that comebacks are inherently doomed, instead highlighting the importance of heart and mindset. His endorsement gives weight to Pacquiao's journey, framing it as a courageous pursuit fueled by passion rather than age.
At 46, about to make his way back into the ring. I saw him training this morning, but a lot of people are worried about him. You know, he's been inactive. Bob Arum, his longtime, guy, even said, I don't want to see him get hurt. Rooting for him, but I don't want to see him get hurt. What do you think as a guy, who's probably thought about getting back in the ring a few times? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think?
Well, actually, I can't comment too harshly on that because I made more comebacks than everybody. I hold the record, undisputed. But you know what? Hey, do what you want to do, man.
Do you think the idea of like inactivity when you have somebody who lives his life to do it is a big deal?
It's a big deal, man. And I mean, there's no one thing that will really make people understand why we do what we do. But you know what? God bless. Stay healthy. And take care.
Mario Barrios has expressed both respect and disbelief at the prospect of facing Pacquiao. He understands the magnitude of the challenge, acknowledging that he's not just stepping into a fight, but into history. Barrios' remarks reflect the emotional gravity of the event, showing that he approaches the matchup with humility and awareness of Pacquiao's towering legacy.
The WBC president Mauricio Suleiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Cloteley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I ask myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say. But anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion. So who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight to happen.
Respected trainer Robert Garcia has spoken highly of Pacquiao, calling him a living legend whose impact spans generations. Garcia highlighted the universal admiration Pacquiao commands, both in and out of the ring. He believes Manny's relentless spirit and determination still give him a fighting chance despite his ageist sentiment. That amplifies the optimism and intrigue surrounding the upcoming clash.
So Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao are finalizing a deal to fight in the summer. Now, Manny Pacquiao is, I think, close to 40 years old, if not already 40. Why is he still boxing? We've seen how he looked in his last exhibition against Ampo. I'm telling you right now, if this fight ever happens, which it probably will, this fight will happen, most likely. If he gets in there with Barrios, he's gonna get whooped and possibly even stopped. Let me know what y'all think about this fight down below. Manny's already done the most legendary thing you could ever do in boxing. A division world champion. No one's ever done it, and probably no one will ever do it again. So why does he want to keep fighting these young guys? I don't know, man. I don't know. But let me know what y'all think wins down below.
The reunion between Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach has reignited excitement among fans and pundits. Roach, who played a pivotal role in shaping Pacquiao's storied career, brings deep experience and intimate knowledge of his style. Their renewed collaboration in Los Angeles has become a focal point of media attention, underscoring a story of loyalty, legacy, and mutual respect, one that has consistently delivered historic results in the past.
Not naturally as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big natural welterweight. And of course we understand Pacquiao has moved up. My God. I don't even know when he first turned pro, you would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean, he was
180 pounds, right?
Yeah, jockeys are about 105 pounds, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. I mean, can you imagine him though going to the whip? He might have killed the horse. That's the only thing. Yeah, you would have had Petter. What is it called? Peter, whatever. Peter. You would have had Peter coming after you. You know, look what he did to this horse. You know, but. Look, I love Pacquiao. One of my favorite people, one of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from like whatever, incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up. Incredible. Just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active, you know, who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit than when Pacquiao fought him. And maybe that made a difference, whatever. But he did take a lot of punishment, Pacquiao, in the Ugas fight.
Observers have been left in awe by the sharp, crisp sound of Pacquiao's punches during training. At an age when most fighters are long retired, Pacquiao's hand speed remains astonishing. Long considered one of his most dangerous tools, this signature trait appears as deadly as ever, capable of turning any fight in his favor. Each punch speaks volumes. Manny Pacquiao isn't done yet.
And reportedly for July 19th. And we know Manny Pacquiao has always brought big business, but now he's going to bring it in more of the late career George Foreman type of way to etch himself into that record book even further. Can Manny do it? I mean, look, the odds are certainly against him. But there's one thing about certain legends in this game. Think Bernard Hopkins, who fought into a very late age. Some of them, as long as they can physically get themselves into that ring, sometimes they can reproduce magic for one night. So it's a romantic situation. I got cats walking around. Yep. People are excited to see the Pac-Man back. You just got to kind of figure out, is this for real? Is he going to be for real? Or are we going to send him into a physical, violent retirement?
Yeah, Reggie's a big Manny Pacquiao fan. He loves him because he knows about Father Time, because Father Time is undefeated. We know cats have 9 lives.
Freddie Roach was stunned by what he witnessed during Manny Pacquiao's training. For his upcoming bout against Mario Barrios, at 46, Pacquiao's hand speed was still blisteringly fast. So much so that Roach, who has trained him for years, could hardly believe it. The legendary fighter moved with the same lightning speed and precision that defined his prime.
Going for another belt, taking on Mario Barrios. What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, before I even talk about the fight, it seems that boxing has changed, because this guy's been retired for what, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, what's his last fight? Thurman?
Yeah.
Been a while. He's 46 years old.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that he's done nothing to be fighting for a world title.
Oh, yeah, for certain. Yeah,
So, I mean, I don't understand why he's even fighting for a world title.
But to make a comparison, isn't that kind of the same thing, though, really? Is like Floyd fighting Conor?
It's not the same.
Why not?
Because.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it.